Hey guys, what's going on? RC Knockout, and I'm back today trying to fix the differential on my Arrma Kraton EXB. So I have these different assortment of shims right here, and I am going to attempt to reshim the rear differential, which I've had issues with, because as of recently it's been dumping all that power to the front diff. So I'm going to take the rear diff back apart and try to reshim it. I might actually also take the center and the front back apart and make sure those don't need any type of shimming, because I'm tired of taking these differentials apart. So I'll probably do that. Shout out to Razor RC, because I'm watching his video right now on how to properly shim these differentials. So, alright guys, so the first thing I'm noticing right here is there might be the tiniest bit of play. It's hard to tell. You can see there's a tiniest amount of play right here, so I'm debating whether or not to... You can see that left-right amount of play that I have. So I'm debating whether or not to put a shim on this side and push that a little bit closer or not. So I'm back. I took my front differential back apart, just made sure that everything is good inside of it. It has the right amount of shims. I just wanted to recheck everything, make sure everything's right. So I basically took this one, tore this front diff apart again, replaced the diff fluid with some 10,000 weight. I noticed there's a tiny bit of play from side to side. So when this is sitting in here, there's a tiny bit of play from side to side. So I decided to use one of these shims right here, which is part number Arrma 709031. And there's 4 shims in here, but I decided to just use one because there's the tiniest bit of play, and I'm going to put it on the outside right here, outside of this outer bearing, so it'll push that mesh a little bit closer to the pinion. And then next I think I'm going to go straight to the rear diff. Alright guys, I got my rear differential torn all back apart. This is the one that I think is the problem. Now I bought these shims right here, these Arrma 709059 and Arrma 709060, and I'm just going to reshim the back one. So it's supposed to have 2 of the large ones. So I'm just taking the shims that were in it. This is the one shim that I used before, that I just found, the shim that I found, and that seemed to be working. I mean, it was still on there, so I don't know exactly what the issue was, but what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to take all the shims out that they put in. I'm going to reshim it with 2 of the large shims and 1 small on either side, because there's supposed to be 3 shims, 2 large ones and 1 small one in the middle for the rear diff. And instead of running 10K diff fluid, since it's open diff, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it up and put a thicker diff fluid in. So I'm going to put 30K. I'm going to put 30,000 weight diff fluid in and see if that makes a difference, because the issue I was having was it was unloading all the power to the front. So maybe that's because it's an open diff and the fluid wasn't thick enough. And I don't know, maybe 30,000 weight won't even be thick enough. I don't know. But that's the next course of action, is I'm going to put 30K in, put this diff back together. Alright guys, so I'm looking really close at these gears right here. And it's really hard to tell, but I don't know if you guys can see, but some of these teeth look like they're chipped. Right there, like it looks like some of these teeth, like right here. It's very hard to tell, but it looks like some of these teeth have gotten ground down, most likely because I ran it with the wrong amount of shims in it, because Horizon, obviously Arrma, they shimmed it wrong. There was not enough shims in it. So I failed to notice this the last time, or maybe it happened since then. So I was taking a look at these gears, and these are my gears inside my rear diff, and they look chipped. Like, I don't know if you can see right here, some of these are looking chipped to me. Just take a look at those. That might be part of the issue. I think we have some chipped teeth on these gears. I think I'm going to have to call Horizon Hobby back up and tell them, yep, these gears are chipped, because you guys can see that. Tell me if you guys think those are chipped. Especially like the edges. Like, it's hard to tell because they weren't that profound to begin with, but some of these teeth look, the edges look very, very ground. Yeah, especially like right here, you can tell that one has a little chip where my thumb is. And I'm sure that's because I was running it with the improper amount of shims, and maybe that's why I had issues the most recent time. Both of these look like the teeth are ground down. And the spider gears, I don't even know. I'll have to take a look at the spider gears, but now I'm going to call Horizon back up. I'm going to put this one back together, because at this point, I'm going to get a hold of Horizon, just tell them, yeah, you know what, this is what's going on, send me a new differential. Because the last time I asked them for a new diff, because I was worried that there was damage to these gears. the dude said he'd send me some shims. And I'm pretty sure these are the shims they sent me, and they're not even the right shims. They sent me AR 709003. I don't even know what these shims are for. Because these shims right here don't even fit over that shaft. They don't fit even over this. So I don't even know if these are something that's for the differential. So I bought my own. Because this is the ones that I was sent by Horizon, and this is not the right shim set. So I bought my own. This one right here. There was some play in the rear or in the front differential. Put this on the outside of the bearing. Cleared that up. The front differential looks fine. And then I bought these AR 9060, which are the small ones it looks like, and then the AR 709059, which are the large ones. And I'm just going to reshim the whole thing. I got some of the big ones, some of the small ones. But yeah, these teeth look damaged to me. I'm going to put it back together. I'm hoping they send me more than just the teeth. At this point, they really just need to send me another differential because this thing's fucking, sorry for the language, this thing's just messed up. I've been pretty disappointed in this, and I mean, I understand stuff can happen, but it all comes down to the way that they address it, and the way they addressed it. I heard other YouTubers say that they were going to get new diffs, but after talking to the dude on Horizon Hobby, not to mention it took 45 minutes to get a hold of the dude. So I was on hold for 45 minutes on, what, Monday morning? No, it might have been Friday morning. I can't remember. It might have been last week. I can't even remember when I did. But I called them up, finally got a hold of somebody, told the dude the issue that was unloading all the power to the front, told him I took all the differentials apart one time. He said, okay, cool. He's like, take a picture of the RC, because I told him, well, I don't have pictures of the actual diff. I took a video of it. But he's like, okay, you don't have to send pictures of the diff. Just send me a picture of the RC to show that you have the RC. And then he said, send me a bill that you bought it. But then I'm like, well, I don't have a bill. I bought it from Tower Hobby. So he was able to look that up on his computer and confirm that I did buy one. So he confirmed that I bought an Arrma EXB, Arrma Kraton EXB. So all I needed to do was basically send him a picture of the RC and explain the problem, which I did. I explained that it had the wrong amount of shims in the rear diff, and it had hardly any fluid, if any, in the front diff. And I explained even after taking it apart and putting it back together, was unloading all that power to the front. And after him reviewing that, all he determined was that he would send me some shims. And that's what he sent me in an email. So then I sent him back an email saying, well, I mean, what about just a whole new differential? And then he just never responded back to me. So obviously not super happy with that, because clearly, I don't know. I'm just not happy with this machine. I've been very disappointed. I don't think they should have released it with diff problems like this. And I think the way they need to fix this is by sending everybody with this problem a rear diff. Especially if they've run it already. Because I've run it already, and you can see these teeth, I think, are chipped. They're definitely ground down at the very least. And I'm sure that's because I ran it with the wrong amount of shims in it, and it was too loose. So I'm going to put this one back together. We'll see if it runs, but I'm at this point not going to be super surprised if it doesn't run right once I get this all back together. The thing I don't want them to do is I don't want them to just send me these gears, because to be honest with you, I don't want to take this apart again. So at this point, I just want them to send me a new rear differential so I can slap it in and get this thing going, because this thing's been nothing but a headache so far. Been very disappointed in it. I'm sure a lot of people have. But I understand mistakes happen. Somebody obviously was installing these differentials wrong with the wrong amount of shims. But yeah, like I said, it's the way that they address it. You know, I can deal with the problem, but it's how they address it. And they're just going to address it by giving me some shims and saying, well, I guess you're on your own, figure it out. That's not cool. Because I have more damage. I even told them I was worried about damage to the gears. I'm like, I can't tell if there's any, but yeah, as you guys can see, so I'm probably going to take some pictures of this, document this, and yeah, that right there, those two right there, you can tell are chipped. For sure. I'm rambling a little bit, guys, but yeah, I'm not too happy about this. The only thing I'm going to change up on this differential at this point is I'm going to put 30,000 weight diff fluid in it and see if that'll help at all. But once I put this back together, we'll see if it actually works or if it just spins, which it probably will. I even asked him through email, would you send me a new diff? He just never responded back to me, which I'm thinking, well, thanks for ignoring me, dude. But yeah, he said he'd send me some shims, and they didn't even send me the right freaking shims. Shims they sent me were these, AR 709003, which I don't even know what these are for. They're not even the right size. Alright guys, it's hard to tell if the differential gears are okay, like the spider gears. If they are, there might be a little bit worn. A few of the teeth I can see like right here, that little tooth right there looks slightly chipped. It's hard to tell, but I'm guessing there's some wear on these teeth as well, just because of, what's happened. Alright guys, I've gotten this diff back together, but I'm already noticing when I try to spin it, there's definitely some resistance or some grinding going on. I'm trying to spin it right now. Right there, it does not want to spin. It's hard to show you guys because I don't have anywhere to put this phone, so I'm trying to spin it. Yeah, like it does not want to spin until like, it's hard to show you guys, but yeah guys, there's definitely issues with this one. Let's see if I can prop this phone up so I can show you guys. So let me show you guys. Here's from side to side, it'll kind of spin. But then it, right there, like it does not want to spin. Those teeth are definitely catching. So it'll kind of spin like this. There's still some noise when I'm spinning it, so it's not spinning freely. But especially when I try to actually grab like the spool itself, the differential, there, it's not. One's not even spinning right now. I can't get this one to spin. That's not normal. And this one, kind of the same thing's true. Like you actually have to spin both. So there's definitely an issue with the inside of this diff. So I'm gonna hold this wheel right here with my knee, but and I'm gonna try to show you. I'm trying to spin it right now. It is not spinning freely. There, like you can hear it. Like you can hear that there's definitely some grinding going on in here. Alright, here's another good sign that there's obviously some teeth damage, because I did not notice this the first time, but as you can see, here's a piece of a tooth right here. This is after I cleaned out that differential, that rear one. Piece of a tooth right there, and all of this shiny stuff that's in the diff fluid, that's all little bits of metal. So, unfortunately, looks like my rear diff is done. You can see all those flakes of metal bit from the teeth. They've obviously been ground down. The thing's not spinning smoothly on my rear diff now, so major bummer, but I'm going to have to call Horizon up tomorrow and hopefully not be on the phone with them for 45 minutes, which I was last time, and hopefully get a hold of somebody and get this figured out. So